Today I'm going to show you guys how to make beats like HABIBTI by Drake. This is part 3 of the series. I've covered every single one of the new albums he just dropped. And this one specifically goes a lot more into that R&B vibe. So that's exactly what we're going to be making today. So starting out for the intro of our beat, I just wanted some smooth emotional chords. So I grabbed this sound from Analog Lab. This is one of my go-tos for Drake style beats. It's just super simple. I laid down this very basic progression. We're just using triads here. And this is simply just going up the scale. And that's the difference from a Drake R&B beat versus other R&B artists. His are a bit more simple, a bit more trap-like. He does have some more emotional cuts on the album as well, but I wanted to go for the simplistic trap feel for this one. And just using simple triad chords like this works very well. Then I layered the chords on this sound, which I think is the default Analog Lab preset. And then two staples of Drake R&B beats are vocals and deep synth basses. Take a listen.
I was alone. I feel like I'm on.
So I just added this bass from Omnisphere. And these arcade vocals, which I threw a bunch of delay on. Now with Drake beats, although they're very simple in terms of the amount of sounds in the melody, there's often a lot of switch ups. So when the beat drops, I started by laying down the Lab's piano with a faster version of the chord progression. To give it some more depth, I just layered it on a bunch of sounds. And now the vocals at the beginning are cool, but when you have a finished beat with drums, the vocals tend to be a bit too busy and it doesn't allow space for the rapper to hop on the beat. So what I did to still have vocals in the beat but give it space is I chopped up the vocals and reversed them. I'm going to show you how I did that. So first thing I did was pitch it up an entire octave. Then I put it in reverse. And to make it sound a bit chopped up like a sample, I just started by cutting every single bar and then reversing the order they're played in. So this one would come first, then this, and so on. And then I finally just sweep the volume up like that, which is how I got this pattern. Then I threw that same delay from the beginning on it, and now we have this. So instead of it being this big vocal, it's now become kind of this background texture, which just adds a little bit to the beat while still keeping it open. So from there, I just exported the melody. But if you know anything about Drake production, you know the underwater effect. And what this is basically in the melodies, all of the high end is completely cut out of the sample. And it's not just adding an EQ and calling it a day. I'm going to show you how to actually do it. Put your sample into Edison, and then you want to change the sample rate. So right click this number up here. And for this one, I went about 6500, resample, accept, and what that does is that completely cuts out any frequencies above 6500, and now it sounds like this. From there, to make it even darker, I just pitched it down 3 semitones. And one final thing I added to the melody, just to give it a bit of background ambience, is this synth run. So I just grabbed this sound, and from pitching the melody down 3 semitones, we're now in the key of D sharp minor. And the key of D sharp minor follows all of the black keys, so that makes it very easy to make cool synth runs like this. If you just kind of like slide your fingers down the piano and just fuck around with the black notes, it pretty much always sounds good. So I just came up with these random synth runs like this. And altogether, this is our final melody. Now let's talk about the drums. Drake's drums are often super simple with just a kick, hat, and snare. Not many other percussion sounds in there. Sometimes not even 808s because we have the synth basses which do the work for the 808. So for these drums, I really like the song I'm Spent, and you can hear how the kicks hit with the chords. So I just started with a kick and snare and made sure the kicks follow the rhythm of the chords. Then the last thing was simply just the hats. I like these pitch down hats for these slower beats, so I just pitched it down a couple notes, and there's not much going on at all. There's some rolls here, especially in these really lower tempo beats. You know, you could fill it out with a lot of rolls and stuff, but this one I did keep simple. We have some lower notes in here, and that just sounds like this. Now, something I've heard a lot throughout this album and a lot of Drake's newer music is the beat structure really progresses over time. So in the first half of the song, there might be a certain sound selection for the drums, and then halfway through the song, it completely switches up. So for my beat, towards the end, I actually added a bit. The kick is now layered with an 808. And I added a lot of higher notes to the hats, which really just bump up the energy. So with all that being said, this is the final beat. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a sub. We're super close to 400. Check out the other 2 videos I did on his other 2 albums, and I'll see you guys in the next one.